Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cynthia and thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be talking today about living change, changing our inner dialogue. So when somebody asks you about yourself, how do you usually introduce yourself? What immediately comes to mind? Well, if you're like me, sometimes your inner dialogue immediately kicks in, and it may not be a true reflection of what God says you are. Usually I'll start something like, hi, my name is Cynthia, I'm 36 years old, I have a 10-year-old, I have a 20-year-old, I'm a working mom, and I also do homeschooling. I am Spanish Puerto Rican by descent. I don't usually cook a lot. Some people think that I'm a little too skinny and maybe I'm a little bit fluffier for others. I wish I could exercise, but I don't really like to go to the gym. I hate my hair because I think it's really curly and I can't do anything with it, and I wear glasses. And honestly, I just feel like I am like 60 or 70 years old because every bone in my body hurts. By the way, I'm not a morning person, and I just recently became a pastor's wife, and I have no idea why God called me to do this because I feel I am not equipped. So I'm pretty sure that maybe your inner dialogue sounds a little bit like mine, with of course some alterations to it. And although those things may say my age and my marital status, maybe my physical appearance, the truth is that's not who I really am. Those are all things that define me by the world standards, not by what God says I am. And looking back and reflecting on it, that is not my true identity. Although I think it's my reality right now, that's really not why God created me. I know for me, it probably stemmed from when I was a child. I was always very skinny, and I feel like I had a big head and big hair, and I was just very awkward. And so I feel like being a minority, coming here to Florida when I was 7, not knowing the language, and just thinking everything is totally weird and different, I feel that I have carried on those negative thoughts, those judgments, those biases that people had towards me, and I'm still carrying it on to my adulthood. But I need to remember that first, I am a child of God and everything else will come. God tells me that I am created for a purpose with a purpose. And that makes it so much better and way easier for me to try to introduce myself to other people. I have to remember that I'm a beautiful masterpiece created, carefully crafted by the master's hands. And I am learning that now, but it took me a long time for me to tune in and really listen what God had to say for me. When I first had the urge and the desire to share my faith and my belief, whether it was with friends or the public through YouTube or my family, I kind of felt judged. I felt that they would be bringing up my sins. They would be thinking of what I was like in the past, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't worthy. And I realized that that was just Satan wanting me to believe all those lies so that I wouldn't share the good news of Jesus. I definitely didn't feel powerful or strong or brave or like I could definitely do it. And I'm glad to say that 2 years later, I am able to confidently stand here in front of the camera and in front of other people and just share my faith. Let them know that this is a journey, that I am not perfected yet, but as long as I hold on to Jesus every single day, I'm getting better. My identity was far from what God wanted for me, and I had to really ask God to help me see what it is that He sees in me. And I had to do something that usually doesn't come natural for some of us, but I had to let go. I had to submit, and I had to trust that He was going to lead me on my own journey. And it may look different than yours or anybody else's. And in that journey, He was going to be able to change my self-image. Because the image that I had of myself was one of simple, low self-esteem, just very negative about myself, because I was comparing myself not only to these perfect Christians that I thought, right, were perfect, but also because I was listening to the lies that my family and friends and other people were saying about me. If you're like me, you are usually your biggest and hardest critic. But only through daily prayer was I able to surpass and overcome all those demons that were entering my life and my mind. Believing that He is good and I am not, and that I am created for a purpose exactly like He wanted at the time that He wants. And that's all that He wants for you, sister. He wants you to go ahead and accomplish His purpose in your life. And so if you're thinking that maybe you're a little bit older, maybe you already have kids and you don't have time, trust me, once we pray for that, God will allow you to have that time. We are His beautiful creation. We are crafted by His hands. He knew you when you were in your mother's womb, so of course He has a plan for you. You just may not see it yet. When we see that He loves us, we can definitely love ourselves so much better. It's kind of like having somebody on your corner always rooting for you, and even when you fall down, they're still like rooting you on, wanting you to succeed. But changing our inner dialogue does take time and practice, but we can definitely do it with Him. And so here are some things to reflect. If you're struggling with your self-image, your self-esteem, your identity, just ask God to reveal to you, what is it that He sees in you? Who is it that he sees you and he wants you to be? Allow your vision to be the same as God's vision for your life. Also, ask God to help you identify those lies that the enemy is putting in your head that make you feel that you're worthless, that you're useless, that you're a sinner, that you're just not good enough, that you can't do anything right, that you need to be perfect before you come to him, because those are all not true. And best of all, remember that you are worthy, that you are beautiful, that you're wanted, that you are loved, and that you're made specially just for him. He could have chosen to create so many other people, but he decided to create you. And that's something that we shouldn't take lightly. We need to know that we were created for a purpose, just like Esther was, just like David was, just like Abigail was in my recent video. God has a purpose for you, and you may not know it yet, but through prayer, soon enough you will. Regardless of your walk with Jesus, if you still have some self-doubt, there is always work to be done. All you need to do is press in and listen to who he says you are. And I wanted to share just a quick verse with you guys found in Isaiah 62 verse 3, and it says, "You will be a crown of splendor in the Lord's hand, a royal diadem in the hand of your God." So don't ever forget that. So that's it for today, guys. I hope that this uplifted you, that this gave you the courage, the desire, the passion to go out there and be the most beautiful and strong woman that you are. Not be scared of lies of Satan or anybody else in the world that's telling you that you can't do it, because for God and through God, all these things are possible, and he has wonderful things waiting for you. So I hope that you guys are blessed, that you guys really like this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe if you haven't already. Definitely go ahead and check out some of my other videos. I do have some parenting videos, and I do have 1 or 2 minimalist videos. I'm working on another one now because I am definitely hooked on it. But I hope that you guys take care. Have a wonderful week, and until next time, bye.